The 2026 Senate elections are shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable and high-stakes contests in years. We're talking deep blue states staying blue, deep red states staying red, and the battlegrounds in between deciding the future of the next Senate majority. Today, we're taking you through a full state-by-state breakdown, not just numbers, but what those numbers mean, why the race looks the way it does, and what to expect next. Let's begin. Alaska. Sullivan 72.7%, Dem 27.3%. Alaska is unique. It has an independent streak, a history of electing unconventional candidates, and ranked choice voting that often produces surprises. However, Senator Dan Sullivan remains a strong favorite. His military background, veteran support, and consistent conservative record resonate deeply with rural and Native communities who value stability. Democrats, despite enthusiasm in Anchorage and Juneau, cannot yet break through the Republican dominance in the vast rural regions. Florida. Moody 81.7%, Dem 18.3%. Florida has gradually shifted from a pure swing state to a Republican-favored battleground. Attorney General Ashley Moody benefits from high name recognition, strong support among Cuban Americans, and the deep red shift in Miami-Dade County. Democrats, despite gains among younger voters and retirees, face significant challenges due to turnout issues and GOP consolidation across the I-4 corridor. Georgia. Ossoff 77.4%, Collins 22.6%. Georgia has transformed from a Republican stronghold into a true Democratic base in urban areas. John Ossoff's popularity stems from his moderate tone, strong ties to black voters, and continued support in Metro Atlanta. Republican Collins struggles with internal party divisions and an underpowered campaign. Democrats' suburban surge keeps Ossoff comfortably ahead. Illinois. Krishnamurthy 93.2%, GOP 6.8%. Illinois is reliably blue, anchored by Chicago and its massive Democratic machine. Raja Krishnamurthy appeals strongly to suburban professionals, union households, and minority communities. Republicans simply do not have the statewide infrastructure to compete here. Iowa. Hinson 76.5%, Turek 23.5%. Iowa has steadily drifted right. Ashley Hinson's campaign focuses on farming, energy independence, and rural revitalization, messages that deeply resonate. Democrats maintain pockets of strength in Des Moines and Iowa City, but not enough to offset GOP strength in the countryside. Kansas. Marshall 85.8%, Democrat 14.2%. Kansas, historically conservative, remains deeply Republican despite occasional Democratic wins in governor races. Senator Roger Marshall is strong among evangelicals, rural families, and small business owners. Democrats lack the numbers outside Kansas City suburbs.
Maine. Mills 61.2%, Collins 38.8%. Maine is one of the few states where moderates still play a major role. Janet Mills commands strong support among seniors, educators, and women. Susan Collins, once unbeatable, faces declining appeal among independents after years of national controversy. Still, the race holds interest because of Maine's independent voters. Michigan. McMorrow 56.1%, Rogers 43.9%. Michigan is a classic battleground. Mallory McMorrow energizes suburban voters, younger groups, and urban centers like Detroit and Ann Arbor. Mike Rogers remains strong in rural counties and older voter blocks. The race reflects Michigan's political divide: cities blue, countryside red. Minnesota. Flanagan, 81.6%, GOP, 18.4%. Minnesota leans Democratic due to the Twin Cities' massive electoral influence. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan appeals strongly to women, young voters, Native Americans, and progressives. Republicans retain strength in Iron Range and rural areas, but not at levels needed to win statewide. Montana. Daines, 90.2%, Dem, 9.8%. Montana, once competitive, has shifted sharply Republican. Steve Daines maintains broad support among ranchers, conservatives, and outdoor sports communities. Democrats simply cannot match Republican margins in rural and small-town Montana.
Nebraska. Ricketts 87.6%, Osborne 12.4%. Nebraska remains firmly red, anchored by conservative values and agricultural interests. Ricketts has deep financial backing and long-standing influence. Democrats hold small pockets in Omaha, but not enough statewide. New Hampshire. Pappas 71.8%, Sununu 28.2%. New Hampshire is known for independent-minded voters. Chris Pappas has grown his appeal through bipartisan messaging and strong local outreach. Chris Sununu, despite his popularity as governor, struggles at the federal level due to shifting suburban attitudes and Democratic gains in college towns. New Mexico. Lujan 92.4%, GOP 7.6%. New Mexico's Democratic dominance continues. Ben Ray Lujan benefits from strong Hispanic support, Native American turnout, and Democratic strength in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. North Carolina. Cooper 74.7%, Whatley 25.3%. One of the most shocking developments, Roy Cooper, a popular former governor, enjoys massive bipartisan support, especially in suburbs, college towns, and African-American communities. Michael Whatley struggles to unite Republicans and lacks broad appeal outside the GOP base.
Ohio. Eusted 54.9%, Brown 45.1%. Ohio is shifting red, but Sherrod Brown remains personally popular due to his working-class image. John Eusted appeals strongly to conservatives and business communities. Rural areas lean red, industrial counties remain competitive, making this one of the most important races in America. South Carolina. Graham is at 92.8%, with the Dem at 7.2%. Lindsey Graham's national profile and deep institutional support make him nearly unbeatable. Democrats struggle to make inroads beyond the Charleston and Columbia metro areas. Texas. Paxton is 76.2%, with Tallarico at 23.8%. Texas is gradually becoming more competitive, but still favors Republicans statewide. Ken Paxton remains strong among the conservative base despite controversies. James Tallarico energizes young voters, progressives, and suburban moderates, but the numbers still favor the GOP. Alabama. Marshall is at 97.5%, with the Dem at 2.5%. Alabama continues to be one of the most Republican states in the country. Steve Marshall dominates across every demographic except urban minorities.
Arkansas. Cotton 98.6%, Dem 1.4%. Tom Cotton's military image, conservative credentials, and grassroots machinery keep him overwhelmingly safe. Colorado. Hickenlooper 98.2%, GOP 1.8%. Colorado's Democratic shift remains strong due to Denver, Boulder, and suburban realignment. Hickenlooper is practically guaranteed re-election. Delaware. Coons 96.6%, GOP 3.2%. A tiny state with a huge Democratic base, driven by Wilmington and Newcastle County. Idaho. Risch 98.7%, Dem 1.3%. Idaho is one of the most solidly Republican states, rural, conservative, and deeply traditional. Kentucky, Cameron, 96.6%, Stevenson, 3.4%. Daniel Cameron is extremely popular among Republicans and maintains widespread support across rural regions.
Louisiana, Cassidy, 97.7%, Dem, 2.3%. Louisiana's conservative majority and strong Republican turnout patterns make this race safely red. Massachusetts, Markey, 98.9%, GOP, 1.1%. Massachusetts remains one of the bluest states in the nation, driven by Boston area Democratic dominance. Mississippi, Hyde-Smith, 96.4%, Dem, 3.6%. Cindy Hyde-Smith faces virtually no challenge in a state dominated by conservative voters. New Jersey, Booker, 96.3%, GOP, 3.7%. Cory Booker's strong national profile and Democratic loyalty in NJ keep him enormously safe. Oklahoma, Mullen, 98.5%, Dem, 1.5%. Oklahoma consistently votes Republican by some of the largest margins in the country.
Oregon, Merkley, 98.2%, GOP 1.8%. Urban and coastal Democratic voters maintain Oregon as a solid blue state. Rhode Island, Reed, 97.4%, GOP 2.6%. Jack Reed remains one of the most trusted Democratic senators in the country. South Dakota, Rounds, 97.4%, Dem, 2.6%. South Dakota's heavily rural population keeps it safely Republican. Tennessee, Haggerty, 98.5%, Dem, 1.5%. Tennessee remains deeply conservative, anchored by strong Republican turnout in the suburbs and rural areas. Virginia, Warner, 96.1%, GOP 3.9%. Northern Virginia's suburban growth has transformed the state into a reliable Democratic stronghold. West Virginia, Moore Capito, 98.6%, Dem 1.4%. West Virginia's political transformation is one of the most dramatic in American history, now deeply, overwhelmingly Republican. Wyoming, Luntis, 98.4%, Dem 1.6%. Wyoming continues to be the most Republican state in America, giving Cynthia Lummis near automatic re-election. These races tell a clear story. Some states are locked in their political identities, while others are becoming battlegrounds that can shape America's future. The fight for Senate control is far from over, and every state, every region, and every demographic shift brings new surprises. Stay tuned for more updates only on today's Blueprint News.